Arthur Gobineau, in his 1855 work Inequality of Human Races, portrayed Jews as a separate and inferior race, and Aryans as the most superior of all races, concepts adopted by Hitler and the Nazi Party. Ernest Renan, a French historian, also wrote of Aryan superiority and Jewish inferiority based on race. Christian Lessen, professor of ancient civilizations at the University of Bonn, wrote about races of Europe and considered Aryans superior and Jews, quote, selfish and exclusive. He blamed anti-Semitism on the behavior and unique characteristics of Jews. An Englishman, Houston Stewart Chamberlain, in 1900 wrote of Aryan superiority and the struggle between Aryans and Jews. The concept of an eternal struggle between Jews and Aryans would appear in Hitler's Mein Kampf 20 years later. The race-based ideology developed by Gobineau, Renan, and Chamberlain, and the need of Aryans to fight the enemy Jews provided the rationale for Hitler to eliminate the enemy Jews. He took their racial theories and the concept of conflict between Jews and Aryans to their logical conclusion: genocide. Wilhelm Marra, a journalist, organized the League of Anti-Semites in the 1870s and coined the term anti-Semite. His pamphlet in 1873, Victory over Jewry over Germandom, envisioned perpetual conflict between Jews and Germans. His pamphlet became popular in Germany, going through 6 editions, and Marra organized several conferences of anti-Semites in an effort to create a national movement. Father August Rohling, a Talmudic Jew, made points similar to Marra's. This led to the emergence of the Christian Social Workers' Party, an anti-Semitic political force in Berlin in 1878, led by Adolf Stocker. He railed against Jewish control of financial institutions and control of the press. His party appealed to conservative members of the elite, to small shopkeepers and artisans. Separately, but with Stocker's support, 2 school teachers organized a national campaign in the 1880 that succeeded in attracting 265,000 people to petition for restrictions on Jewish immigration to Germany and to exclude Jews from all government positions, another harbinger of the Nuremberg Laws. This anti-Semites petition of 1880 was presented to the Prussian Chamber of Deputies in 1880 and produced a 2-day debate in November 1880 on restricting Jews. A copy went to the German government in 1881, but Bismarck, Germany's first chancellor, failed to respond. The petitioners saw Jews as a threat and sought to limit Jewish immigration, excluded Jews from the civil service, and imposed Christian values in schools to counter the Jewish menace. Germans organized anti-Semitic unions that peaked in the 1890s. A significant minority within Germany made their hostility toward Jews public and asked for government action to undo emancipation of Jews that occurred in 1869 and 1870 in Germany. By the 1880s, anti-Semitism organizations went international with a series of international anti-Jewish congresses. In the late 19th and early 20th century, anti-Semitic actions were internationalized. Russian authorities organized anti-Semitic pogroms against Jews in 1881 and 1882, passed the May Laws in 1882, limiting where Jews could live, expelled Jews from certain cities in 1891, and launched a new wave of attack on Jews from 1903 to 1905. These actions led 1/3 of Jews in Russia to migrate to the United States, and is popularized in Fiddler on the Roof. Russian authorities even brought up the medieval ritual murder charge and prosecuted Mendel Bellis from 1911 to 1913. A similar charge was brought in the village of Tiza in 1882 in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Attacks on Jews broke out in Jassy in 1899, in 50 Moldavian towns in 1907, and in Romania, leading half of Romania's Jews to flee to the United States. Vienna became another center of anti-Semitic activity. In the 1880s, Karl Lueger delivered a series of anti-Semitic speeches in the Austro-Hungarian Empire and united several Christian organizations into the anti-Semitic Christian Social Party. His movement won control of Vienna and elected Lueger as its anti-Semitic mayor in 1895. He assumed office in 1897, and his administration lasted until his death in 1910. Lueger railed against Jews on racial grounds. Under his administration, Vienna barred Jews from city jobs and limited Jews in public education and colleges, a foretaste of how the Nazi-run German government under Hitler would apply restrictions on Jews at the local level. Lueger's anti-Semitism influenced the young Adolf Hitler.